Who's ready for a little meal prep inspiration? What is up, you guys? My name is Kira if you are new, and in today's video, I am back to bring you just a little bit of some meal prep inspiration. This is nothing complicated, and if you've seen a majority of my meal prep videos, you know that I like to keep these very plain and simple. If I share a cooking video with you guys, or maybe like a breakfast meal prep where I'm sharing a bunch of recipes, maybe I'll try something a little bit more intricate. But when I do meal prep and I'm just trying to set my family up for a week of success, I just like to keep things good and easy. And that's what I have for you guys today. I have a wide variety of recipes. I have some breakfast things, I have some lunch things, I have some snacky things, and I have dressings. I haven't shared a meal prep in quite a while, and I think even in my most recent ones, I haven't shared the dressings that I've made over and over again. So a lot of my newbies have been asking like, hey, can you share your ranch? Can you share the blue cheese? So I threw those in this one as well. But I hope you guys are ready to get yourself into the mode to get set up for a great week with nothing but delicious, yummy, easy, and ready to eat goodness. And we're going to start off with something that I thought would be perfect for a Sunday breakfast when everybody's home, or maybe a holiday breakfast. But this is a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit casserole, and it's kind of something that I put together. I did learn a lot in this recipe that I'll share with you as we go along, but I wanted the concept of a monkey bread with a bacon and cheese flavor. So I do have some eggs here. We're going to use a dozen of those. I have 2 cans of Great Value biscuits. They're just the jumbo flaky kind. I have some heavy whipping cream. I have some like cooking spray, some Colby Jack shredded cheese, and a pound of bacon. And then for our pan, I have a bundt pan here, but this is the kind where the center lifts out if you're doing a cheesecake. I don't own a traditional bundt pan, which is actually what you should be preparing this recipe in. So if you have a bundt pan, please don't do as I do, because that definitely was to my disadvantage, but the concept still was there. So hopefully my mistake will be your benefit. But we're going to start off by cooking our bacon, because I pretty much want what goes into the casserole to be already cooked. Plus, I love having bacon prepped for the week. We use it on sandwiches, burgers, all kinds of things that we're still eating, for dinner. I like to cook my bacon in a sheet pan right on the pan, because I like to save the grease on 350 degrees. So that's in the oven. And then now we're going to put on our eggs in the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot is one of the places that I go when I want to do hard-boiled eggs. I feel like it is the easiest. So with 1 cup of water in the bottom of the Instant Pot, we're going to let those eggs come to high pressure for 5 minutes and then slow release them for 5 minutes. And then now, while those cook, we're going to chop up our biscuits, and we're going to cut both cans so that each biscuit is cut into 4 pieces. Once you're done with that, we're going to put all 12 of our eggs into a bowl, and then I didn't really measure, I just kind of eyed. I'm going to say maybe a little over a half a cup, probably 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream, and we're going to whip those together. And then now we're going to put our biscuit pieces right in there. They do stick together, so I separated it. It was a little time consuming, but you want them to be as individual as possible so that it can pull apart like that monkey bread. And then now we'll go ahead and set that aside, and at this point, our eggs are ready. We've reached that 5 minutes of cook time and then 5 minutes of sit time. So we're going to take the lid off, and then now we're going to throw them in an ice bath for 5 minutes. And between those 3 methods, we usually get a really good hard-boiled egg. Now at this point, our bacon is ready. So we only need a half a pound for this recipe. So I put half a pound on a cutting board, and then you'll see I took the other half and I just put it on a paper towel to drip dry. And then I put that in a sandwich bag in the refrigerator to use during the week. Now we're going to throw in 1 cup of that mixed shredded cheese into our egg and biscuit mixture, and we're going to chop up that bacon, and we're going to add that right in. And then now we're just going to go ahead and give it a stir. And then now it's time to add it into that pan. Except like I said, I used the wrong pan and all I did was use cooking spray. You really need to lubricate the sides. Maybe take some of that bacon grease, pour it in the bottom of your bundt pan and roll it all around so it really just gets good and greasy on the inside, because I baked it at 350 degrees for 1 hour. I mean, look, it looks absolutely and exquisite and beautiful in there, but Daryl and I struggled to get it out because, again, I didn't really like lube the sides enough, and this was the wrong pan. Like, this is meant for like a cheesecake or something. So it took a little time for me to navigate it out of there. I wish that I had had the right proper pan, and it really is best served with butter. Just a nice little thing of butter on top, because you would use biscuits and butter, right? Like you would put butter on your biscuits if you were having that with your eggs and bacon and cheese kind of thing. So it really just gives that extra sense of moisture if you put some nice warm melted butter on top. And it was really good, and it was light and it was fluffy. It didn't pull apart like I thought the monkey bread would, but it was still really, really good, and it froze really well as well. And then now our hard-boiled eggs, I just went ahead and peeled them, and then I put them in a Tupperware for us to eat on them throughout the week, whether we take them for lunches in like a snacky plate or use them for something like egg salad. Back to the Instant Pot, and the second most popular use in my house for the Instant Pot is for making rice. Nothing has ever made rice so good, not even a rice cooker. So we're going to go ahead and make some rice for the dog. So I have 4 cups of water that I'm going to go ahead and stick in here. I usually double the ratio. So if I do 4 cups of water, then I'm going to go ahead and put in 2 cups of brown rice. Sometimes I'll throw in some bouillon and stuff. I didn't have any at this time, but as long as you make sure that your nozzle is set to sealing, then you're going to hit your rice button and go ahead and just let it go and start. And so it usually goes on for 12 minutes, and then I let it sit for another 15 on a slow release. It gets it nice and fluffy, and then what you guys are looking at is probably not appetizing to you, but it really is to my dogs. And so that is 4 cans of chicken, like the Great Value white chicken. Sometimes I get them from Sam's or Costco, and I'll drain all the juice out of it, and then I'll put 4 cans of chicken into a Tupperware. I add 1/2 cup of melted coconut oil. I add a 1/2 can of pumpkin puree, and then I add whatever just came out of that container of the 2 cups of cooked rice. And then I usually add about 4 tablespoons of butter just to give it a little bit of extra flavor for the pups. Sometimes I'll even salt it. They don't need a whole ton of salt, but it's just nice to have the flavor. And then I mix it up, you guys, and they get 1 cup of this with every meal, and they also get 1 cup of dry food, and they just absolutely love it. They eat it up. It's so good for them, and it gives them a lot of nutrition. The coconut oil is good for their coat. Sometimes I'll do green beans, I'll do broccoli, I'll do carrots, like whatever it is I have on hand, but the dogs love it. All right, I'm going to teach you guys a little trick. Let's say your kids want cookies for school lunch, but you only have cake mix on hand. Well, with 2 eggs and 1 stick of butter, you can turn any cake mix into cookies. And I saw the dark chocolate fudge on the Walmart app, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have dark chocolate fudge, chewy like cookies for school lunch. So again, 2 eggs and 1 stick of butter, and then whatever it is that you want to do flavor-wise is all that it takes. I actually have a Pinterest link with all these cool different cake mixes that you can turn into cool cookies. I'll link that down below for you guys, but I'm just going to go ahead and take our stick of butter, put it in a measuring cup, and put that in the microwave to melt. We're going to put our cake mix in a bowl. We're going to crack our 2 eggs and throw it in there, and then of course we're going to just take our melted butter. We're going to add that as well, and then now it's time to just go ahead and mix that up. You're going to tell that it's way thicker than normal cake consistency. Get get a spatula, go around the edges, make sure you get all of the mix, and you'll see that it's thicker, more like a chocolate chip cake mix. I have 2 pans here, and you guys, I don't know about you, but I love to use ice cream scoops for more things than just ice cream. I feel like they work fantastic for things like cookies, or even when I'm doing pancakes and I'm putting them on the griddle, I feel like it's the perfect amount. I even use them to take waffle mix and put it into the waffle maker. If I'm not pouring it, I'll just go ahead and use an ice cream scoop. So once you go ahead and put like 1.5 to 2-inch balls on your cookie sheet, you're going to stick it in the oven for 350 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how hot your oven cooks. And then I just threw mine on a cookie rack and I let them cool. And that's what the kids took for school for lunches that week. Now, I feel like something like this is great in a pinch if you need to send something in for school or a party or something and all you have is cake mix. Like, this goes way further than just making a cake. All right, now a little bit more some breakfast meal prep, but this is the Mrs. Jones fully cooked chicken sausage. I get this stuff from Costco, and you guys, this stuff is absolutely amazing. It is keto friendly. It just has like very little sugar in it. The protein count is really high, and they are great cooked in a frying pan. I know some people will cook them in the microwave. It's just not the best case for these. Like I said, they're fully cooked, but if you just melt some butter in a frying pan and let them stew for about 4 to 5 and 6 minutes, I just keep going back and I shake them and I shake them until they're brown on every side, and then that's it. They come out plump and juicy, and they're so flavorful. They taste like some of the best breakfast sausage I've ever had, and something like this works great for my family because I just put it on a tray, and whatever we didn't eat for breakfast for dinner that night, I just go ahead and throw in a Tupperware, and then we stick that Tupperware in the fridge, and it's just great protein to pull on for breakfast all week. All right, now here we are. Probably my most requested thing to ask to make, and that is the ranch dressing. You guys always ask me, and it really is super easy, but thanks to you guys and you giving great ideas in the comments. One of my good friends, Heather Larson, I met her here on YouTube just as a subscriber, and we've become such great friends over the 5 years that I've been doing this. She suggested to add garlic powder and cracked pepper to the ranch, buttermilk, and mayo that I was already doing. So between all those components, you guys, I go ahead and make the best ranch this planet has ever seen. So we're going to go ahead and throw our 1 quart of buttermilk into a 2-quart container. I add 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic. We're going to add a good amount of cracked black pepper, but obviously that's to your taste buds. I add in a 1/4 cup of the Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning mix, and then I play with the mayo. I put in like 4 heaping scoops. I usually go in and stir it really good. I check the consistency. I'll go back and add a few more scoops, and then I'll take a whisk and I'll really just beat it down until it gets to that smooth and really creamy consistency. That's it, you guys. Throw a lid on it. It lasts for about 2 weeks in the refrigerator. Well, my family doesn't let it last that long, but it is a perfect dressings for things like salads, pizza. My family likes to dunk their French fries in it. You guys, this ranch is thebomb.com. You need to try it. All right, speaking of dressings, you need to try. This is Dat Keto Ladies blue cheese dressing. This stuff is on point, you guys. You do not need to be doing keto in order to love this dressing. And it's mayo, lemon juice, crumbled blue cheese, sour cream, garlic, and Worcestershire sauce. That is it, you guys. I usually double this recipe, but I'm only doing a single one this time. So you're going to do 1 cup of mayo, a 1/2 cup of sour cream, a 1/2 cup of crumbled blue cheese, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic, a heavy amount of black pepper, again to your liking, and then just mix. The recipe does call for salt. I'll pop the whole recipe up on the screen for you guys. I just don't salt because I think mayo is super salty, but then I just go ahead and put it in a glass jar, and once I clean up my mess, because obviously I wasn't very good at that, I go ahead and place this in the refrigerator. And again, same concept. This is going to last in the fridge for 2 weeks, and if you love yourself a blue cheese dressing, I promise you will never, ever make anything else. It is so delicious. And if you want, you can add a little bit of buttermilk and kind of smooth it down a little bit so that it's more pourable as opposed to as thick as the actual recipe is. But oh my gosh, you guys, on a good crispy wing, I promise you, it's the best you'll ever have. Speaking of the best you'll ever gonna have, I don't know if this is the best tuna recipe for you guys, but I know it is for our family because the combination of some fresh green apple along with some red onion and then some celery with tuna fish is mind-blowing. Do not knock it until you try it, but the sweet and the bitter and the crunch and the mayo, it's just, you guys, it is dynamite. So I'm just going to go ahead and prepare some tuna for my family that we can use for lunches throughout the week. So we're just going to start off by dicing our celery. You're just going to do thin stalks and try and dice it the best that you can. And then once you're done dicing all the celery, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the apples. You want to leave the skin of the apple on. A lot of the tartness and the flavor of a green apple is in the skin, so you'll want to leave that on. And then again, you're going to do the same thing with the red onion. You're just going to dice it up as fine as you can, and then we're going to stick that with 2 cans of tuna. I wish I had 3. I did cut and prepare a lot of the insides, and I only had a little bit of mayo left, so I went ahead and added all of the mayo, and I feel like that kind of was a mistake. So once I put all of my chopped veggies in there, I added in the rest of the mayo, and then once I started mixing, I realized it was super mayo-ish. I like a lot of mayo, but I feel like this was a lot. It is going to sit for 24 hours in the refrigerator before I put it on some bread. So hopefully when it gets chilled, it'll kind of dry up a little bit. But I was a little sad that it was as soupy as it was, but I really just didn't want to keep like a tiny bit of mayo in the container. But all right, you guys, that was it for this time's meal prep. Again, I just wanted to keep it light and simple and just share with you, that new recipe, which was that breakfast casserole, and then share those dressings for those who had been asking. I wanted to show that little hack about the cake mix and how to turn it into cookies, and just share with you guys things that we do, like the chicken sausage and the hard-boiled eggs and the dog food, and the kind of things that make our lives easier as our days go on. You don't realize how much meal prep helps you till you do it consistently, and then you don't do it for a week and you're like reaching for those things in the fridge that you've already prepped, but they're not there. So I already started putting together another meal prep video with my foot. I've been trying not to like stand on it too much, but I'm still preparing things that I want to share with you guys. So if you're new, make sure you're subscribed with those notification bells clicked so you guys are notified the next time I upload one of those videos. If you enjoyed today, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. I love you guys so much, and until the next time, I'll see you guys. Bye.